Hello. A couple of people have asked why I have these balloons in my latest videos, and it's just one of those precipitous things that my whole family, myself, my wife and my two older college-age children, were all born in March. It's just one of those coincidences that we have a mad March literally every year. So the first person gets the decorations and we just leave them up until everybody's had their birthday, which is the whole month. But there is another coincidence, because when I was uploading my last video, I realized that my channel is now 1 year old. So happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to Flowforth's instrument channel. And if you don't know, Flowforth is the name I trade under, albeit in a small business sense, if that. Let me put the camera back so you can see sort of the array of guitars, and we'll get the Angel guitar out that I fixed. You remember this was the shipping damaged guitar, and it's not perfect, but I have touched up and lacquered the old dinged area, so from a distance looks like a perfectly reasonable guitar. Your eye's not drawn to that gash. It's you have to look carefully to see its imperfections now. So anyway, I got off track. My channel is now officially a year old, and I've had some very nice messages from subscribers and watchers of my videos. Nice little community develop. It's small, it's humble, but I'm getting a repeat set of comments from a number of you, and I really appreciate that. Always, 99% good-natured. Some great comments. A lot of you, I notice, are either guitar enthusiasts, ukulele enthusiasts, or you work on instruments yourselves. So that's great. I'm really enjoying the comments. I try to reply to every one. My channel is small enough still to where I can do that. And I'll continue to do that as long as I can. Obviously, I actually have two other jobs. I'm a teacher, a college professor, part-time, and I also run a small press and do this instrument stuff as well. I find stuff and set it up. I also do full restorations. I started out doing violins and cello, double basses. That's where I got my formal training, was working on bowed string instruments. I worked for a number of years in the musical instrument business. After I left the old bass shop that I worked for, violin shop, double bass shop, I worked for an international wholesaler and also a couple of rather large guitar companies, and I worked in quality control. I actually spec'd and designed a couple of instruments as well, mostly in the bowed string world, but I had a hand in and was on the management team for a number of guitars as well. So I have some experience, but I don't do this full time. I now more do it for fun. It's supplemental income in a way, but also because I love musical instruments. And the work gets me off the computer and away from books, away from sort of ethereal type learning, and using my hands and using the skills that I honed years ago, and working on all manner of instruments. So I really enjoy it. I decided a year ago to start almost a diary of sorts. This is sort of a diary channel of the types of stuff that I come across, what I think of it, how you can find it, what you have to do to make good instruments out of it. I realized that there are literally thousands of YouTube channels for guitar, ukuleles, good ones, bad ones, ones I'm indifferent to. And I realized that I had to sort of create my own niche. So I decided to concentrate on little known, unbranded, surprising, and trade secrets, if you like, as well as the world of lutherie and restoration as well. And hopefully I've done that. I really enjoy making the videos. I'm not up to a great number of likes and subscribers. It hasn't really happened in that sense, but it's not why I started it. It's not really my drive. I watch people like Philip McKnight, and I watch other people that are getting 5, 6, 7,000 hits per video, and they're just normal people. They have regular jobs. If anything, their YouTube presentation is now sucking up a lot more of their energy, and I've noticed that some of them seem to be suffering because of it. Mr. McKnight used to own his own shop, and that's gone by the way. I'm not sure why. Concentrates much more on videos and reviews and things. Also, the Crimson guys seem to spend a lot more time, at least the owner does, worrying about his YouTube output and online presence, which seems to be taking him away from the day-to-day business of running the shop there. Which may be a good thing, may be a detrimental thing, I don't know. But I do know that once you develop into a massive YouTube channel, it seems to change you. It seems to change the personality behind the camera. It seems to change the intent of the videos being made, the sort of things they cover. I noticed people going from very small, interesting, quirky YouTube channels to becoming large, like and subscriber chasing, almost like mini documentary channels. They're getting more and more professional in their production, their titles, their theme music, which is all good. But it seems that their channel has now warped into trying to present what they think the customer wants, and it's all based on the amount of likes and the amount of popularity that they can garner from their videos. I really want to resist that. I want to stay focused on what I set out to do, and even though I put out videos that only get 30 likes or 30 watches, I'm going to continue doing them. It seems like when I talk about banjos or violins, or even classical guitars, I get less attention for those videos. So a lot of people might say, well, then just do these, stick to electric guitars, go for what people want. No, I don't think I'll do that. I will show electric guitars as they come and as they stir me and as they catch my attention. But the fact remains that I am largely an acoustic instrument luthier. I mostly work on acoustic instruments. I'm not particularly good at soldering or doing electronic work. It's not my background. It's not my strength. I started out working with wood and with acoustic instruments, and I think that's my forte and that's my interest. It's the guitar I grab to play the most when I pass my rack. I grab a classical or I grab an acoustic. It's the kind of guitars I tend to record with the most. It's the kind of guitars that I write songs on the most. So, and I think there are less people on YouTube doing acoustic-based guitar channels than electric-based guitar channels. One thing I really like about people like Randy, who's a good supporter of this channel as well, and I support his, is that he stays in his interest area, although occasionally he gets titillated by something outside of his area. I think that's the way it should be. You should be open, you should be malleable, but you should also be loyal to what your strengths are. He's obviously he works much more with acoustic instruments, acoustic guitars, seem to be his forte from what I can see. So a lot of his material is around acoustic guitars, and it's the same with me. Perhaps mine is equal between acoustic, classical guitars and ukuleles, but occasionally I come across mandolins and banjos and lutes, hammered dulcimers. I've worked on all kinds of stuff. I've restored a harp or two, and you know, if those things come up, I will gladly show them and share those experiences. But you know, my bread and butter, if you like, are I should say acoustic guitars and classical guitars. So that's mostly what you're going to see, although I love ukuleles as well. So those three are what you're mostly going to see, but you're also, you know, I'm going to show some folk instruments because I love collecting folk instruments and working on them and learning about instruments I've never worked on before. So I will include that as well. So it's not going to be a massive shift. I look forward to doing another year of these videos. Some people have said, rather apologetically, I wish you had more subscribers, I wish you had more people watching your videos. If they come, they come. If it turns into something you know, more frequented, that's great. If it doesn't, I'm also happy to talk about these things and bring these instruments and these issues to you for a smaller group. I don't think everybody on YouTube has to become a mega channel and start doing the Patreon thing and become obsessed with dominating their particular field. I think there's a lot of room for niche channels, smaller channels, odd channels, obscurity channels, oddball people on YouTube, and people that just dip in now and again when they find something worth making a video out of for them. Not all of us have a weekly schedule. I was watching a ukulele video yesterday. I like that bloke. He's really good at doing ukulele reviews, and I like to keep an eye on the kind of stuff he's getting. He's from my home country, and of course he's doing reviews over there in Britain. And I'm interested to see what he comes across and what he thinks of them. But I noticed he has a weekly schedule. He talks about this week this is this week's review. And a lot of YouTubers have set into a ritual or a rigmarole or a schedule, if you like. I'm not. I make videos when I feel like it. I happen to be in between classes right now. I haven't started on my bench. I'm working on a classical guitar at the moment on my bench. I haven't started the work. There's no one in the house. So I'll make a video or two. That's kind of the way I operate. It could be any time of day or night. It could be in any number of weeks. Those of you who watch regularly will notice that last week I didn't have any because I was busy doing stuff. So it's going to be like that. I'm not going to settle into a schedule or even get overly ambitious about production. I want this to be a content-based channel, and I want it to be about instruments and guitars and the people that are interested and work on them and buy them. I don't want to get kitschy. I don't want to get over elaborate with production. One, because it's so time consuming, and the other because I think that often starts to take over when I'm watching people's videos. They get more and more technical and tricky and clever, and sometimes that works out really well, and other times I get bored. I preferred the channel when they started out, when they were more raw, when they were more content based. It detracts in some cases. So although I might soup up my production a bit, I don't think it's ever going to be on the level of some of these other channels that are almost professional enough to look like little TV channels or made for television documentaries. I admire the work, I admire the time they put in, but for me it's all about content. It's all about, you know, what you're talking about and what you're making a video about. So this is my 1 year anniversary video. Thanks for your encouragement. Thanks for the people that checked in and watched, and for the people that regularly comment. I really appreciate it. I enjoy your feedback. I enjoy the stories you send about your experiences with these instruments and your thoughts on these instruments. Keep sending them. Point me to your channel, please. If you're putting work out or doing similar stuff, let me know about it, because a lot of times I don't. I mean, I only watch YouTube vids maybe a couple hours a week, if that. So I'm not aware of everything. So let me know if you've got something going on, or if you've made a video about a certain guitar that I'm talking about. I'd gladly watch it and give you my feedback. So here's to many more videos, and more anniversaries, more balloons, more guitars, more ukuleles, more fun. See you next time.